Welcome to the Squad Show. I'm Sam Ekstrom here on Locked On Vikings. It's Ireland week. Will I use an Irish accent before the end of the show? We'll see.
No, don't. That's it.
Please don't do that. It'll be more painful than anything the Vikings have subjected us to this year so far.
Skol! It's the Viking Squad. Everything Minnesota Vikings every week. Breaking down all the big hits and game-changing plays from the land of 10,000 lakes. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. It's time to gear up. The Viking Squad Show starts now.
What's up? Happy Thursday and welcome into the Viking Squad Show. You met the crew. It's Arif, it's Braun, it's myself, Sam Ekstrom, and Ron Johnson joins a little bit later. Vikings Steelers Sunday morning. These two will be there. I'll just be in my basement drinking a coffee, having a good time. Can Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers be slowed by the Vikings pass rush? Donovan Jackson out for this game. What does that mean for the offensive line? And we play a game of Is He a Star? Plus, our Week 4 bets, all coming up on today's Squad Show. It is brought to you today by PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app and put together an entry, win some cash, use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All right, gentlemen, we need keys. Keys to beating the Steelers, keys to getting one last victory against Aaron Rodgers in Europe. Arif, you're there, checking in from Ireland. Are you in downtown Dublin? Give us the geography, but then get into your Steelers analysis.
Yeah, what is the address of your hotel?
No. I have cleverly...
You text it to me later. I'll find you.
I've cleverly, in order to avoid this exact scenario, booked two different hotels so that you can't figure it out. I will say that at least one, if not both of the hotels, are near Trinity College in Dublin, which is close to the city center, which
Trinity
is not where...
Library is sweet, by the way. Have you been
It
there?
is.
Yeah.
Yes, it rules.
Yeah. We're going to go there.
The teams are not staying anywhere close to the city center, which is fine by me. I don't really care that much. It's outstanding. I was able to talk to someone who's staying with the Steelers, which is my segue into talking about the Steelers game. And I talked to them a little bit about kind of like everything going on with the way that Steelers is running that extremely fake offense. So, yards after catch percentage for all offenses in the NFL. The Steelers have 70% of their yards come after the catch, which is obscene, frankly. Bo Nix, Mr. Yards after catch, 56.5%. They're not in the same area code in terms of the way the offense is run. Aaron Rodgers has the lowest depth of target in the NFL and the highest screen rate in the NFL, 56% or 45% or something like that. Just insane. So the key, I understand that this is like a key to most games most of the time, but like on defense, the key is to tackle well, because that's it. That's all they can do. You don't have to cover them. I mean, he has a decent deep throw percentage, but for the most part, you're not covering intermediate routes that much. So they're going to throw it short. The Vikings are going to show blitz, so they're definitely going to throw it short. So you just have to tackle well. Byron Murphy, tackle well. Isaiah Rodgers, I don't got to give him advice. Tackle well, right? That's all it is, right? Just tackle
punch the ball out a couple times if you can.
Punch the ball out. Just do your thing. So that's what it is on defense. On offense, it's, hey, their top cornerback is injured, so take care of that. That's not that hard.
Arif stole the stats from me. Lowest ADOT in the league for Aaron Rodgers, 7th highest pressure to sack rate, quick throw offense. Last year, he threw against Flores' defense 54 times. 54 times. I know they trailed most of the game. Threw 3 picks, 4.5 yards per attempt. They blitzed him 54% of the time. It's Luke, Braun. It's hard to really look at the Steelers, even though they're 2-1, and say, yeah, this is what they're really good at. I don't know what they're really good at. They punched the ball out a few times, kind of like the Vikings did last week, and they barely beat the Patriots. Like it's not exactly a glistening 2-1 record.
Yeah, So I asked Christopher Carter a similar question, and yeah, generating turnovers is one of the big ones, and it's going to be one of those where these defenses will probably both be able to generate turnovers. Whoever outdoes the other is going to have a huge advantage, obviously. But when I asked Chris, like, what is the identity of the offense, he started talking about how big everybody was. DK Metcalf, big, contested catch, fade guys. They use all 3 tight ends, including Darnell Washington, who's listed weight
280. Yeah,
and 280 is a lie. Let's be real. 280 is not real. So if you match that up against the Vikings secondary where everybody's 5'10", but Jeff Okudah, who's just Jeff Okudah, then you suddenly see, okay, here's the path, right? You get into the red zone, and I think this one will, like a big moment will be fade to DK Metcalf over one of these smaller corners. Do they make the play? The answer was yes. Isaiah Rodgers made that exact play against T. Higgins, who's one of the best contested catch receivers in football. So they can do it, but there will be like a big size mismatch. And then it's a matter of a defense that can generate a lot of turnovers versus a quarterback who has a penchant for giving up the ball.
Yeah, I will say this. Rodgers has 5 turnover-worthy plays this year, which is pretty unusual for him, especially because they're unusual. Not... Yeah, it's super. That's how many he has, like, in a year. It's crazy. But it's like a super conservative offense, too. So it's not even like they're, like, asking him to, like, continue to throw these contested catches all the time. That's not the focus of the offense. The focus of the offense is to make it so that eventually you'll throw a contested catch, right? Like, that's the idea, is that you set up DK Metcalf. But he's had, and I think 2 of them might have been fumbles on, like, sacks, but he's had 5 turnover-worthy plays, which is really fascinating.
It is a different, like, it is not the same offense as what the Jets were doing with Rodgers, which was, let's try to copy-paste Green Bay the best that we can. No, the Steelers are doing their own thing with their own players. And they're doing the Arthur Smith thing, which means a lot of Jonnu Smith, I guess.
A lot of Jonnu Smith.
Got to be a lot of Jonnu Smith. But to the point you were making, Sam, about depth of target, when Aaron Rodgers is pressured, he wants to get the ball to Jaylen Warren and make a guy miss. And with like the way that offense is going to contract, this is kind of exactly the Brian, like schematically, this is what Brian Flores sort of wants. He wants to be able to just show blitz a bunch and turn you into Oregon. Turn every quarterback into Bo Nix. That's the perfect. So if the Steelers are willing to like seed that and say, yeah, no, we are going to be quick strike, throw the ball short, try to make plays after the catch. The Vikings kind of whole deal is rally to the football, make a tackle.
For the reasons that we've laid out, Aaron Rodgers sandwiched between Bo Nix and Michael Penix in PFF grade right now. Hasn't been great. They don't run the ball well, much like the Bengals. Chance for maybe another, 10 carry, 3-yard performance, which I think is what Chase Brown accomplished against the Vikings run defense last Sunday. Other side of the ball, Steelers don't stop the run. Steelers don't stop the pass. They've got big names at corner, haven't performed well. Justin Fields looked really good against them. Drake May and the Patriots moved the ball. They just turned it over every time. Sam Darnold was a world beater in week 2. So the Steelers...
Well, I mean, that's Sam Darnold. You can't... That's obvious.
Yeah,
Sam the Man Darnold in Seattle with some of the best stats in the league. But they've not been...
Hasn't even started raining yet.
What kind of turf conditions do we expect to reap? What's the venue? I've literally no clue what the venue is, but oftentimes in these new locations, there are always turf concerns that slow offenses down.
Yeah, so it's Croke Park. I've been advised to both pronounce and not pronounce the K in Croke. So that's nice. I'm glad that people are giving me trouble already.
Unified messaging.
Yeah, no, I'm confident this is like an elaborate joke being played, and this is not even just about me. They love playing jokes on tourists here. It's a nightmare. I hope it happens to Luke, but the nature of it's a Gaelic football park, which means that there is like a fair amount of planting and turning and stuff like that, but the sizes aren't really what we're used to seeing with NFL football players, which has been a problem at Wembley. It's been a problem in Tottenham. They have done turf management in the England venues in order to kind of accommodate that, because the rugby players still aren't as large as a lot of NFL players, and there will be some particular, just as we talked about, there will be some particularly large NFL players engaging some very explosive movements on this field in this game, and so I expect there to be kind of a field that gets torn up pretty quickly early in the game, unless they've done a lot to make sure that that doesn't happen, which I kind of doubt. I'm guessing that I'm pretty confident it's just a grass field. I say just, it's a well-managed grass field that they're going to cut short to prevent slip, but I just think it's going to get torn up. I don't think that the soil is firm enough to be confident that it's going to operate like an AstroTurf field or something like that.
Matt Daniels was asked about this too. He said he expects a wet surface. So I guess that
it'll act
clues
like
you
a
into
wet
where
surface,
they're.
yeah.
So they'll, maybe want 7 studs or make that decision.
Yeah.
Macho Meach, adroitly
Justin
saying,
Jefferson, please.
Yeah.
I look forward to the
please.
Vikings bringing the wrong cleats as usual. Yeah.
It's super cool when one thing happens, and then for like 10 years at least afterwards, every time we play outside, we have to be like, is it going to be wet? Should they bring their 7 studs? Like, we have to worry about this forever now.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing. Justin Jefferson did validate those concerns at least once since that awful Green Bay game, where everyone was told to wear the correct cleats, and they were all like, I don't feel like it, and then they didn't, and then...
It happened in Soldier this year. He slipped and fell and ruined a play.
Like, come on, dog!
In fairness, that was unplayable turf with any shoes.
Yeah, but the better shoes would have been better, I think, is maybe...
Yeah.
Better shoes would have been better. That is correct.
Good things are good. That's my brand.
Donovan Jackson will be out wrist surgery. Must be a minor surgery because he's only going to miss 2 games plus the bye.
It's crazy for the word surgery.
Yeah.
Played with the injury, which probably speaks to the minorness of the operation. Played well with a bad wrist. What's the drop off to Blake Brandel? I think it's not negligible, but it's not the same as Darius out of school by a long shot. Like I looked it up. Blake Brandel played more snaps at left guard last year than Justin School had played at left tackle in his whole career. So I actually think you're utilizing your depth. This is one of the great depth offensive line pieces that, not only you have, but I think that there is in the NFC. There's probably not that many starting caliber, swing guards that are at Blake Brandel's level. I think that's going to be okay.
They probably should put Blake Brandel in instead of School.
I fully agree. I don't know what they were.
Yeah, that's not a bad take. So my concern here is that Cameron Hayward is a monster. He's maybe one of the strongest players in the league still at like age 36, and that's how he typically wins. I mean, he has a lot of really good technique. He wins with a swim over, he wins with a rip, but he wins with strength a lot. That's his deal. And Blake Brandel is not, to me, like if we were to talk about like backup guards and their strengths and weaknesses, physical strength is not where I would put Blake Brandel's like on the pro side, right, of that pro con sheet. And so my concern is not necessarily overall the skill level between Donovan Jackson and Blake Brandel. It's the strength that both of them have, which is a larger drop-off, I think, than if you were to pair them up against just like a random defensive tackle. The good news is the rest of the Steelers' defensive tackles are having awful seasons. So long as you have something to slow Cameron Hayward down with, which has been a very challenging problem for a lot of teams to solve this year, then you're probably fine when it comes to Keanu Benton, who is outstanding his rookie year and pretty good last year and has been so notably awful this year that like 3 separate Steelers accounts that I follow who don't crib takes from each other have all been like, hey, what's up with that? Why is he just awful? So that's not good. I mean, it's great for the Vikings, but
I would also add Alex Highsmith not expected to play in this one with an ankle injury. He was DNP on the first injury report. Christopher Carter told me that he doesn't think Highsmith will play.
Nick Fairball also doesn't think that Highsmith will play.
And then TJ Watt also just not having the year you want out of him. He had a good game last time. He had a couple sacks, but that D-line is really interesting. So if you feel like if you watch TJ Watt and you say, okay, O'Neal and Darisaw, mostly O'Neal, probably the way they line him up. If you think O'Neal can handle TJ Watt, which is a big question, But if you think O'Neal can one-on-one TJ Watt, maybe with a little chip help, but like if you think he can mostly handle him without sliding the protection that way all the time, you can probably manage to just like turn the protection toward Cameron Hayward every time, make sure you get a double team, and then it's kind of on the Steelers to not be static to find a way to like spring him free and handle that. But the problem is you kind of have to pick one of those guys to say, okay, we need somebody who can handle this dude for most of the game.
Yeah, I guess my primary concern is less with the people that we pay the most attention to, Cameron Hayward aside. Like TJ Watt, obviously, he's not having the year that we expect. He's obviously still good. The issues are that Derek Harmon played well when he came back from injury last week. Played like 35 snaps too, which is crazy. And then Nick Herbig, is doing well. I think he leads the Steelers in pressures. He's a really great pressure producer. He's all right in run defense, and so it's kind of the guys that you don't pay that much attention to. The first round pick that barely played so far this year because of injury, and kind of the third edge rusher who actually currently leads the Steelers in pressures produced might be a better one-on-one pure speed pass rusher than TJ Watt, which I know I added a bunch of qualifications there to get to where I wanted that end of sentence to be, but it's still like a concern, right? That guy has the ability to actually produce a lot of disruption. So there are some concerns here, but yeah, this defensive line overall, especially its starters, they're not performing to the level that the name value of those players would suggest that they should.
I don't know if there was a Flores influence, but Steelers have been a pretty blitz-heavy team in the years since he had that sabbatical in Pittsburgh where he was a consultant.
They're the Steelers. I feel like they're always pretty aggressive.
They like it, yeah.
They actually are second in blitz rate so far through 3 weeks. Vikings, and this is per PFR, not PFF, Football Reference. Vikings are 8th. Steelers are 2nd. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, that matches next gen stats. Vikings are 7th there. Steelers are 2nd. Behind, I think it was the Falcons. Yeah, the Steelers also run a ton of cover 1 and cover 3 that are very clearly a single high safety team. And here's the thing: talking to people who break down the Steelers, they're not a disguise coverage team.
They got the dudes to man you up.
They think that. Look, I also would trust Jalen Ramsey. Like, I get it. But without that kind of disguise, you kind of have, or you should have, a pretty good understanding where you want to go with the ball. Obviously, when you've got kind of one-on-one Justin Jefferson against Jalen Ramsey, you're going to take a peek to see who's one off of press and then figure out everything else from there. But, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a particularly difficult defense to game plan against. The difficulty will just be in the personnel matchups, and the Steelers are getting beat in the air. Like, that is happening, despite the fact that they're not disguising you. They want to beat you on execution, and they have, you would think, the talent to do that, but it hasn't really been working out for them. So, especially with Jordan Addison back, I think that there are a lot of opportunities here for the Vikings to exploit that kind of coverage.
Yeah, this is the other matchup that is like really interesting to me because it's Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, possibly Joey Porter. He's like very 50-50 with a hamstring injury, but if not like a hobbled Joey Porter against finally the full complement of Addison, Hawkinson, and Justin Jefferson, with finally Darisaw back in the lineup. Donovan Jackson's now the only missing piece of the offense, and JJ McCarthy, and the drop-offs there, right? Like we've been debating. So it's finally like the kind of full complement versus a defense that has its full complement that very similarly to the Vikings is known for being kind of, the older defense, and how much do all these guys still have in the tank is like a big question that everybody's asking. It's really fascinating, but the Vikings also have a lot of man beaters. Like if they do want to just man this up, they can probably just run like deep crossers all day long and probably have something. Whether they put a safety over the top of one thing or the other is not really going to help that there. And then it's just going to be about, okay, can Darius Slay play against Justin Jefferson the way he did in 2022 or are those days past us?
Yeah. Ron Johnson is in the green room. We'll ask him about all these issues. Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin, Vikings, Steelers. That's on the other side here on the Squad Show. And we're brought to you today by FanDuel. We'll be using FanDuel at the end of the show for our Week 4 bets. And if you're new to FanDuel, you can get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. All you have to do is bet 5, win the bet. Find a juicy MLB money line and tell you every day that's the best bet this time of year. Doesn't matter if it's minus 1,000. Get your free 300 to use across the app. You can put it on the Week 4 slate and the NFL. Put together a same-game parlay, live wagering, Vikings minus 2.5. I don't want to tip my hand for the bet later, but I got a yardage prop that I'm looking at for the receivers. Are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now or visit FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel.com. Place your first $5 bet. Rolling on the squad show every day. Thanks for tuning in. We do this on Wednesdays as well with the Care 11 crew. We do it on Mondays. We got the Ron Johnson show on Tuesdays. And this is the man, Ron Johnson. He's at 3 Ron Johnson. A little bit of camera difficulty right now. We're pushing through it. What's up, Ron? How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, the camera. I don't know what's going on with the camera over there, so I'm gonna just go with the old computer camera. Let's
roll. We're looking at
win for audio listeners, I think.
The video listeners though, they get to see. I believe that's your father's Johnson Steelers jersey in the background. Steelers matchup means a little more to you, doesn't it, Ron?
Yeah, so honestly, I didn't plan that, but I think my dad must have cut the camera off today because he wanted to make sure he was on the show. But yeah, I got the Steelers helmet in here signed by it's signed by Tony Dungy, Mel Blount, Franco Harris, Terry Bradshaw, Mean Joe Green, Lynn Swan, John Stallworth. I got I got Super Bowl 13 and 14 rings, sitting upstairs in our safe. And so it's just, that's the one thing I thought about. I'm like, man, I got to wear my Super Bowl rings, my dad's Super Bowl rings for the pregame show this week. Just cause, I'm still pulling for the Vikings, but this is one of those games where I'd love to talk to my dad about it. And when you think about the storied history of the Pittsburgh Steelers, it always comes down to the defense. And I heard you guys talking about, the hampered defensive backs and is Joey Porter going to go? Jalen Ramsey brings a new attitude to the Steelers defense. All that said, at the end of the day, neither of these offenses right now look great. And I think that's the main key to this is both their defenses look pretty good. Aaron Rodgers is hit or miss sometimes. I'm breaking down the film this week on him and I'm doing 2 plays and literally it's the same play. He does the same play multiple times to try to get a different result. And both times against the Jets, he scored a touchdown. Both times against the Patriots, he scored a touchdown. And so I'm hoping Brian Flores has seen that. I'm hoping Brian Flores understands, if you see it once and they hit you with it once, just be ready for it. And it doesn't look any different. Literally, it's the same motion. It's the same shift. Everything is the same. And they're hoping that you overplay the first part and then they can bring back the second part. And that's the one thing. I even had to break down the Browns film already because the Vikings are going to be overseas for 2 weeks. And so they're like, hey, if you can get us the stuff for the Browns pregame show too, let us know and we'll get that together so that we don't have to bring all this equipment on the road with us. And so I did Browns breakdown as well. And, looking at the Ravens versus the Browns, same thing. Guys are falling for the same offensive plays, just different ways of getting to it. So I think that's going to be the key for this game is going to be Aaron Rodgers is an old dog. He's not trying to learn new tricks. Once you see it once, if he gets you once, just be ready for it the next time. And he can't run. He can move a little bit, but he can't run. He loves to move to his right and then kind of throw off platform. You got to make him think it's there. And then, and again, that's the good thing about Harrison Smith being healthy. He's good at making you think it's there and then picking it off.
This might be one of the first times in NFL history that a team has faced 40-plus-year-old QBs in back-to-back weeks. Ron, do you know, without looking, do you know who's older, Flacco or Rodgers?
Rodgers.
By 1 year. Rodgers 41, Flacco 40.
Yeah, that would have been tough because Flacco entered the league 2 years after Rodgers, 3, and then
3, yeah. 08.
But then Flacco went the Delaware route, so he had to do the whole 4 or 5 years, whereas Rodgers didn't. So interesting.
Yeah. One more for me, Ron. I bet your dad had an opinion on Mike Tomlin as well because he's been coaching there for 20 years now. What's your thought on where Mike Tomlin stands? Just legacy coach in the NFL, multiple Super Bowls, never had a losing season. The whole aura around Tomlin.
He's a HOF. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's done it for a long time. The problem is people always try to say like, oh, we haven't got back to a Super Bowl. We haven't done it. Like, he's won a Super Bowl. You know, the program has won a lot of Super Bowls. And so here's the thing. Would you rather be the Steelers or would you rather be the Dolphins? And that's what you got to figure out. Like, would you rather be searching year in and year out, hoping that this coach is going to get it done? I mean, I feel like McDaniel, his days are numbered there at this point. And so Tomlin has just been a steady kind of movement within that organization. Their biggest issue is ever since they lost Ben Roethlisberger, has been finding a quarterback. I mean, they have a Band-Aid right now in Aaron Rodgers, but you know, the answer is who's the next quarterback that they're going to, you know, are they going to wait for Dante Moore to come out of Oregon? Are they going to wait, you know, for the next great quarterback? You know, that's going to be the answer for this team. And honestly, like, I could see Dante Moore in 2 years, you know, or in a year being a Steelers draft pick quarterback because he fits the size, he fits the movement, he fits Tomlin's mindset. You know, he's a kid that grew up in the air raid offense. He grew up in Detroit, Michigan, went to my high school, Martin Luther King High School. But you know, when you look at all these quarterbacks, you know, Ethan Kelly-McManus, is he going to be an NFL quarterback? I mean, the kid is looking good right now. We got Rutgers coming to Minnesota this week. I'm looking forward to that one on Saturday. So I don't know the answer to the Steelers' woes. I mean, they've been so stable for so many years. Ownership's been good. You haven't had any issues with owners being in the locker room, having, you know, saying too much. You've only had, 3 head coaches in the history of the program. Haven't had a losing season in a while. And every head coach they hired, they never fired. And so that's just cool too. So, you know, I think that's the thing about this team. It's just everything around them just screams stability. And so you have to put Mike Tomlin up there to say, you know what, this is one of the best coaches to do it. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. It is. I mean, just ask the Vikings. It's hard. It's hard to even get there.
No doubt. Arif, what do you got?
Yeah, I know that this is going to be a tired conversation forever, but, you know, let's do it. If Carson Wentz plays well, so if Carson Wentz plays well, do you have the conversation about kind of waiting a little bit longer to throw J.J. McCarthy in there? Because McCarthy, by certain metrics like EPA per player, whatever you want to use, has been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. And if Carson Wentz does well, he won't be one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. And so the question is, do you have this obligation to all these other players on your roster? Do you fulfill that obligation, or do you say, hey, I believe in what I saw in McCarthy when I made him the starter. I'm going to stick through with that.
Next question, Luke Brown, what you got? I mean, honestly, man, that's tough. So here, it's so tough, especially when you're in the building. You get a chance to talk to coaches. You get access to film. You get access to notes. It's just a different. So here's where I hope Kevin O'Connell, and I say this every year. I say this. I feel like he does it. I hope Kevin O'Connell is on this plane tomorrow or tonight. Actually, it's Thursday already. Man, weeks went by fast. I hope when he's on the plane tonight, 7-8 hours before he falls asleep, it's gonna be a little film study. Being overseas, I think his family's gonna come over there, but you'll have a lot of downtime in between the next travel, and then you get your Monday, Tuesday off. I hope that his timing looks at what plays did I call for J.J. McCarthy, and what was the expected average yardage per play on this. What was I calling for Carson Wentz? What was the expected play, blah, blah, blah. And then kind of looking at how do I marry those two? Like, I feel like he gave J.J. McCarthy a ton to say, like, he's our guy. Let's give it to him. And Carson Wentz is more like, hey, just try to get this done for us. I think that sometimes simplifying an offense is the best thing you can do. You heard Jalen Hurts say it when everybody was down on them early on, and then he comes out there and throws 3 touchdowns, and he's like, you like that? You guys like that? Even though, shout out to Kirk Cousins, he didn't say it that way that Kirk said it, but he said it. Like, Kirk started that. But, he's like, you guys like that, huh? 3 touchdowns. And if you go back and watch what he did, it was basic stuff. It was just literally, let me get the ball out my hands and get it to A.J. Brown. Let me get the ball out my hands and get it to Devonta Smith. Let me get it to my running back on the screen. Like that's the things that simplify the also, hey, we have Saquon Barkley. Let's run the ball so they have to put 7 in the box. And then let's throw.
So the Vikings should get Saquon Barkley. Okay, got it.
Or give the ball to Jordan Mason a bunch. Like, They established the run, and we'll find out this week, was it the Bengals run defense is trash, or is this run offense really legit? And I think that's the key. Christian Darrisaw being back was a huge boost to that offensive line. Huge boost to like washing guys down. If you watch some of the run plays, he's just a massive human being with a lot of strength. And so unfortunate that Donovan Jackson can't go because that's where he does great at screen game, moving fast, getting to guys. But I hope that when J.J. McCarthy's back, they do try to establish the run because I don't feel like that was tried under J.J. McCarthy under center. Like it just felt like, hey, let's show this kid's arm off and see what he can do. And some of the timing wasn't there. Some of the throws weren't there. People talk about the layering the throw versus the driving it in there, all that stuff. Again, it's his first games. Like it was his first games playing, just like Drake Lindsey with the Gophers. Everybody's expecting him to look like this kid out of Arkansas that was Gatorade Player of the Year. No, give him time. Give him time. That's why I'm excited to see him versus Ethan Kaliakmanis. I hope that he doesn't get outplayed because then all the chatter of why'd you let Ethan go is going to come up. It feels like this is the trend. Jake Browning comes back. Everybody's looking forward to Jake Browning telling the Vikings, you should never cut me. And then he gets embarrassed. So maybe
back-to-back. Yeah. Grudge matches gone badly for the returning player.
So maybe Ethan Kaliakmanis comes back and he throws 3 picks or something. And, we're seeing our guy, John Nestor. By the way, people, we have a white cornerback at the University of Minnesota. So it's going.
Take that, Iowa. Take that.
Exactly. and you know what happened? You know who the number 1 defense in the country is right now? The Gophers. Yards allowed per game.
Wow.
Number 1 in the country.
Go.
Hey, that's the key. Get you a Cooper DeJean, and hey, they can't run the ball.
You know what they say.
A mean machine.
They had to work twice as hard to get half as far. That.
Hey, the kid. Here's the thing. He can catch. He makes plays, and he understands the coverage. Like he sits back. He doesn't try to do too much. Like he's not up there trying to be Jalen Ramsey. He knows his game, and that's what I like about him. Like Cooper DeJean was freakishly fast and athletic. John Nestor is not that, but he is really, really smart in understanding his leverage and his concepts. So, I hope he can get him another pick or 2 here. But I think that's the key for this week too. When you think about, the Vikings, it's turnovers. That was the huge difference in that game. Turnovers change, and it's cliche, but it's true. Turnovers can change a game.
Braun,
one of the things you mentioned there, Ron, about Darrisaw, it was really interesting when Darrisaw was up against Trey Hendrickson. I have a whole video about this up on my Patreon page, patreon.com/LeBronNFL, where Trey Hendrickson wanted to try to beat Darrisaw inside a lot because Darrisaw likes to jump set super aggressively to the outside. And everybody thinks they can beat him by just like slashing to the inside and getting there. And he did get a pressure that way. But then the Vikings just called like a million toss plays and just got to the edge a whole bunch. That's something you do not get if Darrisaw isn't there. You don't get that super predictable, this guy's going to slant inside a ton. We can just get Jordan Mason to the edge and let him cook in space. So I thought that was really interesting. But what I actually wanted to ask you about was about Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter Jr. if he plays, Darius Slay, all these guys. And then even on the other side, we've got all these like really interesting cornerback wide receiver matchups, and especially size mismatches is going to be a huge thing for the Vikings on that side of the ball. So it's more general. When you are going up for that jump ball and you have a size advantage or a size disadvantage, like how do you overcome that or leverage that depending on what side of the coin that you're on?
Yeah, you bite them in the kneecaps. That's Dan Campbell's, main strategy. Take the kneecaps out. No, so you know what? And that's one of the plays I broke down is DK Metcalf running a fade route. And then on the other side, I forgot the other receiver ran a fade route. He scored twice on that play against the Patriots. And the one thing Aaron Rodgers did was when he came to the line of scrimmage, he did a token motion just to tell you, are you in zone or man? If you're in man, I'm about to go. If you're in zone, he probably has some type of can or kill play. Both times the Patriots tried to fake zone because they had two safeties high. The problem with the Patriots, though, is Aaron did the fake go, which everybody does. And the safety to the side he wanted to throw the ball to, like, flinched. And he's like, yeah, you're not dropping back. You're coming up. You're coming up again. Because he flinched, like, forward versus, like, normally you would flinch to turn. That's all you got to give a 41-year-old quarterback because now he knows. It's like, all right, and the matrix, you can see the numbers, the ones and zeros just start going, and he looks over. He gives the receiver.
The hieroglyphs, if it's Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
the receiver, he gives them like the not like, I don't know if it was a hand signal. He gave him like the, yep, we're still on. And then right away, he just watches the high safety to his right. and not even it was probably a half a second, 2 seconds. He comes back and throws a fade, touchdown to his left. Does the same exact thing with DK Metcalf. Safety walks up. He's like, yep, all right, you going to give me DK one-on-one? All right, I'm going to take it. And he throws the fade to DK. Great throw, great late hands, as the kids say. And DK just let it fall in the basket. He didn't try to go. So the thing to do with that as a DB, honestly, like a lot of receivers now, the whole thing is late hands. Like, don't show your hands early because that's what they're reaching for. It's the like run. And at the last minute, just let it come down to you because the DBs are playing you. They're not playing the ball anymore. I hate to say it, you got to play the ball. Like with a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you got to play the ball. And with big receivers like this, you got to play the ball. You can't play their hands because they're too smart and they're too savvy. And that's where you look at the size difference. Smaller and younger receivers. I think if we probably go watch a little Keon Coleman, he probably doesn't do the lay hands as much. But bigger guys like that, Luke, honestly, the answer is like you got to use the leverage. So use the sideline as an extra defender. You got to, when he's releasing, don't try to get into a fighting match with DK Metcalf because you're going to lose every time. Like the dude is like, he eats muscles and then lifts weights. Like the dude is he's just super strong
like
and big.
Muscles? What's the accusation?
I think
here?
he must. No, shrimp and muscles. No, but no. The dude. He actually does. He said he does coffee and Skittles.
I was like, that's
careful,
just
this is a
meat,
litigious
Ron.
world.
Like that's.
He actually does Skittles and coffee. He said he likes to eat Skittles. In between little Reese's pieces and. So I'm like, dude,
his like Instagram posts are crazy.
Yeah, like
the rice
coffee.
thing he had. Like, because I've seen sugar and rice together, but it was like the vague suggestion of rice and a bowl of sugar. Like that's just this guy's crazy.
Yeah, he just eats whatever to see if his body can make it. But Chad Johnson
is there like a
told
direct
him,
correlation between like candy consumption and like yards per route run?
Well, no, because then Adrian Peterson would have been able to catch the ball, right? Like that.
Well, it's a new league, Maybe it's just
I don't know, but these young guys now, like guys like Shannon Sharp, Terrell Owens, they're trying to tell these guys, like, man, you guys can play a long time if you treat your bodies right. The problem is at 26, 27, 28, your metabolism is super high. You feel great. When you hit 31, 32, that stuff's going to catch up to them, and that's the problem. They feel invincible right now. They feel like Greek gods because they do look like them. But yeah, 31, 32, if you want to keep playing and not be out the league because your body just can't hold up, like you got to do some of the stuff that, guys like T.O. is telling you. Like, man, eat a good balanced meal, eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner, eat a snack in between, use your nutritionist. Like nutritionists weren't invented for nothing. Like there's something to that. Like I don't understand why guys act like okay, because Chad Johnson jokes about what he eats, but he also like is done playing. Like he didn't do that while he played. I'm pretty sure he wasn't at fast food.
You don't think he was doing the?
No, he was not at fast food
McDonald's and
restaurants.
Waffle House.
No, I will say I do know guys that would do the breakfast at McDonald's all the time. Like I used to do that, the pancakes with the hash.
I mean, but those hash browns, no, I get it though.
or the breakfast sandwich. But then I learned, like, you know what? It's cheaper for me to just get up in the morning early, make my own biscuits, make my own sausage and bacon, and I do it for my kids now. And that's the thing I've learned. Like, just make it. Like, don't go eat it. Don't go buy it because it's not healthy. But to your question, Luke, like 50-50 balls with big guys like that, you got to use your leverage and you got to play the ball. The other part is too, like, if you are gonna end up in that situation, if I'm a defensive coordinator and I'm coming to the line of scrimmage in the red zone, I'm probably not gonna man up DK. I just don't think I would. I would want to have a safety over the top to help, and then I'm gonna say, because who's their running back right now?
Jalen
Warren.
Yeah.
And so when you look at their run game,
and they like to throw to their tight ends too. So like
correct.
You're gonna have like Metellus on Darnell Washington, and it's gonna be the same situation, just different
exactly.
end zone.
So that's what I mean. Like you got to kind of understand who the matchups are, where they're going with the ball. But Aaron Rodgers is super predictable as far as when he comes in the red zone. He kind of wants to act like he's looking away with the, he wants to do the no look, and it's like, I know you're not looking over there because you're probably going back. Like he doesn't stare down his receivers. So it's just like you got to play that cat and mouse game, and nobody better to do it than Harrison Smith. So this is going to be a fun week to see that.
Yeah, Rodgers' old friend, Harrison Smith.
Ron, you're the best. Appreciate you. We got Gophers postcast Saturday, Vikings squad show reaction on Sunday. So we'll see you really soon. And
I should have a sit down with Tanner Morgan, hopefully for Tuesday.
Nice.
So we're going to be
talking
Max Brosmer. And, I might even ask Tanner, like, do you think you should have had the shot that Max had?
Yeah,
So we'll see.
yeah. What does he have that you didn't?
Quarterback talking quarterback. Love it.
Is it the hair? His hair is too nice. Tanner doesn't have the hair.
Enjoy the morning football on Sunday, Ron.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll see you. At 3 Ron Johnson on X. We pause and return with Is He a Star? It's the newest sensation sweeping the nation. We're brought to you by Gametime. I know Ron Johnson's going to be at the Gophers game Saturday. I checked Gametime. You can get in for $42. You can get into a lot of sporting events at great prices, and you avoid the long lines, and you avoid the prices constantly jumping at checkout, and you toggle on the no hidden fees, and you make sure that the price that you see is the price that you get, and the panoramic view, and every feature is there for you, the consumer. So when you pull up Gametime, you see the price. Oh, $42. Gophers Rutgers, fantastic. You can get in the building for cheap. You can get into the Vikings-Eagles game. Looks like prices are currently a little over $200. Might come down as we get closer to game day. Check out the zone deals as well. Gametime picks the seats. You save big. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today.
Is that their new deal? Swipe, tap, ticket.
Game time.
Nice.
Was it on this show where I said swap?
Yeah.
My mouth
You
doesn't
did
want to
swap it
pronounce
real
that,
hard.
but
Yeah.
Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Game
Swap it up.
We love Game Time, and we love this new game. It's called Is He a Star? If you imagine buying stock when the stock price is low, I've got 4 names. Tell me if this is a legitimate future star in the making for the Minnesota Vikings.
I would love to be called a penny stock. I just want that on record.
Tell me in a minute or less if Donovan Jackson is a star after just 3 games.
A star? We got
a star in the a star in the
making.
A to-be star, yes.
Okay.
That's a high bar. I don't think I can go there, but I'm pretty pleased with the way he's played through the first 3 games. I thought the Atlanta game he struggled a little bit. I thought the Bengals game he did very well, outside of a couple little minor losses that don't bother me very much. And I think he did really, really, really well in the Bears game. I think everybody kind of recognized that. For a first-year guard, and interior O-line is one of those positions where famously your rookie year is really tough, and that second-year leap is really common for interior O-line in particular. I think he's way ahead of the curve. I think we can be really happy with where he is. Future star, that's a lot. I don't know if I can quite go there. It would have to be a little more perfect, but I don't think it's out of the question yet.
Arif?
So Luke called him Zach Martin. Got it. I guess I'm not pessimistic on him. I'm just not, I guess, as guardedly optimistic as Luke is. I just feel like the trajectory he's on, and again, it's 3 games, and like Luke said, that you're probably going to see a second, or the data even indicates it could be a 3rd-year leap in performance. I based off of what we've seen so far, I think he is ahead of a lot of rookie guards. So was Dominic Pooney, and he's average. These things happen sometimes. I think based off of the problems that we're seeing, which are issues that are not permanent, they're not balance issues. He's not on the ground, but there's still issues that need to be solved. I would say that he's on track to be average, above average, which is a lot better than what the Vikings have had at that position for a decade.
Yeah, he's got to not take the cheese on crashers. When you have a crasher and a looper for a stunt, he overcommits a lot, and that's where most of the really nasty L's that he has taken came from, primarily in that Atlanta game. But
he's really good against the Bears, though. We do agree on that. Yeah,
the door is open for him to be a star, but probably need to see a little more before we can start saying ooh, this is one of the gems of the interior line in the league.
It is nice to have the door open though, because the door has been slammed shut so quickly on some of these interior line prospects in recent years, right? Because if you look historically, star guards and star centers typically they don't go from being terrible to being a star. I mean, when we saw the first year of Bradbury, the first year of Ingram, first year of Elfline, all right, well, I guess they're not going to be a star. At best, they're going to be middling. I think with Jackson, the door's not slammed by any means.
No, Wyatt Davis still has a shot. I still believe. They just haven't given him...
He just hasn't gotten a chance.
Drew Samia is waiting for his opportunity.
Give him a chance.
If you're bad right away, what you see is kind of what you get. And he has been the opposite of bad. And that is enough to encourage me that he has started.
Ed Ingram is apparently playing lights out. Again, this is a problem between the graders and the evaluators. The graders say Ed Ingram is playing some friggin' outstanding football in Houston. The film watchers they're not upset, I guess.
Yeah, less convinced.
I think there's a degree of difficulty thing happening there where when you hide a player, it can be mistaken by graders for a bunch of really nice plays. You didn't mess up because you got a little bit of an easier assignment. And like for a place like PFF, they'll adjust for some of that, like if it's a bootleg, but not
right.
Were you in the slide side or the man side of the protection or like the smaller details. So I would read that as Houston is probably hiding him to the detriment of other people on that line who are dying.
Next, is he a star? Jalen Redmond. And I'll preface it with this. One of two guys in the league with a pass rush win rate over 30% and a pressure rate over 25%. He's like in
so
the
insane.
top, the far
okay.
top corner.
Yeah, the other guy is
the
Jeffrey
quadrant.
Simmons, right?
Jeffrey Simmons,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
so
absolutely. He's a star. It's happening. I was so hoping you would bring this up for this segment. It's happening.
That's
it's
so
here.
good.
I'm so ready to just be irresponsible about him. That dude is killing people. And he's just winning one-on-ones. Like, it's not manufactured. It's not like that one Levi Drake Rodriguez play where they forgot to block him and you go, great play, but like
that
nobody
was
blocked you. No, he's like winning a rep like every time, pushing the pocket like crazy, actually finishing those reps, unlike what we saw with Jonathan Bullard. That dude absolutely rocks and should be on the field as much as possible.
So the priors tell us to slow down, but it is a little difficult here, I think, for the reasons that Luke kind of explained.
I will not be listening to the priors. I understand that the priors tell me to slow down. I'm not doing it. I'm going all in here.
I get it. That's the thing. So, like, a lot of times when you have a defensive tackle with these, like, obscene stats or an edge rusher, right, a lot of times it's a product of the fact that they're rotational or situational, right, which is kind of true, right, for Jalen Redmond, where he's not, like, the starter, right? And when that happens, they get a lot easier pass rush situations. So a good example is that player pressure rates double on 3rd and long versus other downs, like when you control for the other downs. And so, like, that's something that you have to watch for. That's something that we had to be careful with when we were evaluating Danielle Hunter's incredible start. But, like, also, I just mentioned Jalen Redmond in the same sentence as Danielle Hunter, right? Like, that's kind of the start that we're talking about. And start is, like, a little, because he played last year. But, like, you know, and he hasn't been in just situational football. He hasn't just been there on 3rd and long. He's been there on 2nd and short, and he's gotten the stuff, right? Like, he's playing real football every down, and it just so happens that he happens to be behind, like, a Hall of Very Good player and a potential Hall of Fame player, Jonathan Allen. Probably not, but, like, you know, it just so happens that there's two players that, you know, the Vikings have invested a lot of money in that are going to get a lot of snaps that are ahead of him. But I don't know. He's playing well, and he's playing across multiple alignments. He's played 1, he's played 4, he's played 3, he's played 5. He's, like, doing stuff all over the place.
It's crazy. When the Patriots came for joint practices, one of the things that I heard at the time, and then it was repeated on the broadcast against the Bengals, was, like, all the Patriots walked away from that, like, who in the heck is 61, man? Like, they had never heard of this guy. He's like, that dude's good. Like, what's happening?
Spring football, baby!
Where'd he come from?
The sweetest thing ever is when you go to Spotrac and you scroll down and you see Urfa. He's an Urfa. Got him for free next year.
Sam loves the easily exploitable. This is fantastic. Look at all,
I said on.
Look at all this rent seeking.
I did say on Tyler's show, on X's and Skulls, on Tyler Forness's show, that this we could be careening toward like a mid-season contract news kind of situation with Redmond.
It wouldn't surprise me. The classic, kind of, like the Brandel deal, right? Didn't Brandel sign? I can't remember the timing of it, but it was 3 years, 15 million. Could be in that ballpark, and it could be.
When was Tom Johnson's first extension with the Vikings? Because he kind of like if he was younger when all of that happened, we'd have been having that conversation because he was outstanding at like age 31 and Correct. No other time.
Yeah, the definition of a late bloomer. I think Braun's looking it up, but while he does, okay. While he does, I'll shift to Will Reichard. Will Reichard has not missed a kick. He's made kicks from. What was that? What was that reaction, Arif?
What, he's like, what, 7 kicks?
He's career 78,
and 5 of them were in the top 10 of franchise history.
He's like an 80% kicker from 50 and beyond over 2 years. Not a small sample size.
Actually, still okay. Fine, it's fine.
I think he might be a star.
Okay, I'm gonna go no. I'm gonna say that variance is a B. You have to worry about that a lot. He clearly has the leg, and I think he clearly has the psychology to handle all of this, which are like 2 really important elements to this equation that are really difficult to find. But like, that doesn't make it everything. I think that his variance, which, mind you, his worst kicks last year were coming back from injury, so you want to give him like a fair amount of grace for that. But like, that variance still exists, and that's enough to be kind of concerned, right? So I would say not on track to be a star. It's really difficult to find a kicker who is on track to be a star because a lot of them do start hot and then like nothing happens. Blair Walsh is maybe the best example of that. But like that does happen a lot. But we don't actually have a large sample. The problem with kickers is that after 3 years, you barely have a large enough sample, much less essentially 1 year because he was injured for a good chunk last year.
Braun.
Yeah, so it's kind of, this is happening everywhere. That's the thing with this year, because
60 plus all over the place.
It's happening. Yeah, they changed the
K-ball.
They changed the K-ball thing so you can bring in like broken in K-balls and it just adds 10 yards to every kicker. And we kind of just have to like readjust our paradigm for that. So he's having a nice season. That's fine. But everybody's going to be breaking their franchise records this week. That doesn't make it any less fun. Like,
it's fun.
It's so much fun. I am enjoying it quite a bit. But everybody,
that kick could have been good from 70, dog. That's crazy.
That kick was insane, even after
and it looked
for the K-ball thing.
It was almost like a double breaker.
Curling out.
It sliced and then it drew back inside. And I wonder, like,
we're getting some real like Beckham, like Roberto Carlos type. Like, this is nuts. The penalty kicks we're getting.
If I still had the reporter's notebook and the pencil behind my ear, I'd mosey up to Reichard's locker and I would say, "So are you controlling the draw on the football?
Yeah, are you Franck Ribéry? Like, is this?"
Yeah, I really want to know the methodology behind kind of moving the ball the way that he has, because he had a couple like that this year. We're going to step aside, come back with one more Is He a Star plus week 4 bets here on the Squad Show. And we're brought to you by Wayfair. When you think game day, you might not think Wayfair, but you should, because Wayfair is the best kept secret for incredible and affordable game day finds. They have everything you need to get your space ready for the season, whether you're tailgating outdoors or cheering from your living room. Delivery is free, fast, and hassle-free. That's a lifesaver when you need something in time for kickoff. They've also got outdoor essentials for your outdoor viewing party. Wayfair is your trusted destination for all things game day, from coolers and grills to recliners and slow cookers. Shop, save, and score today at Wayfair.com. Wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. All right, we got one more Is He a Star? Then we got picks. Reminder, we've got Gophers Postcast Saturday here, and that's on Locked On Sports Minnesota and Locked On Gophers on YouTube. We've also got the Squad Show after Sunday morning's game. All right, last one, Jordan Mason. Is he a star?
I'm going to go no, but I love his game.
Man, it could be.
It's tough.
Little Henry-esque. Little Henry S.
Okay.
Okay,
relax.
we don't
That's-
gotta-
Wait, that's
don't-
not how that. That's not even the right style.
Okay, what's the right
he's
style?
More of like
He's
a
not like
Kareem
bouncing
Hunt.
off guys like Henry does. He's like getting
Yeah,
edges.
it's I would say it's more like a Kareem Hunt where people are sliding off of him, but it's not. Yeah, he's not like running through people's faces in the exact same way. But no, okay. So he just had like a long gain of like 24 yards, if I remember correctly, from last week. So I don't want to like overemphasize the point that his explosiveness is going to limit him. Like clearly he's got more than like Matt Asiata, right? These are like different categories of unlikely to create a big play. Like those are different, but it's still an issue, right? Like he's not a home run hitter in the same way. Remember when Mike Zimmer talked about how much he loved running the ball with Dalvin Cook? Because he's like, you just got to keep running the ball. You get 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard, 40 yards. And it's like, I don't love that process, but that was correct. Like that did happen. And I don't know that that's what you're going to get with Mason. But the thing is, I think Mason is probably not going to be a star in the way that we talk about stars, but he might be more valuable than a lot of star running backs because a lot of star running backs are very feast or famine. -2, 1, 3, 40, right? Whereas he's always getting a yard. Like he didn't have a negative rush last week. Not one. Every yard went like 1 yard or more. Or every run went 1 yard or more. And that feels like something that he has to his game. Matt Asiata was actually very similar, but he does more than Asiata does once he gets into the second level. So he could be more valuable than a lot of star running backs, but he's not making like all pro or Pro Bowls.
Success rate merchant, if you will.
Yeah, merchant.
Success rate merchant.
I feel like merchant it suggests something that's not, but okay.
I know. Oxymoron.
He's done a good job of taking the space that's there and has had the speed to maximize that, get a lot of yards, do a good job. I think I feel similar to Donovan Jackson, where it's like, okay, yeah, you've had nice games and I'm very encouraged, but star is a higher
bar. Time to pick our week 4 bets on FanDuel. I'm first, then Inman. He sent me his bets, then Arif, then Braun. Leader right now is Arif Hasan. He is plus 341. Inman is plus 236. Braun's made $76. I've lost 33. I'm in last. Increasing minimums and maximums. We make 2 prop bets or just normal lines, normal spreads on the games. We've got minimum categories, medium betting categories, and max bet categories. So this week, minimum is 40 to 160, medium is 160 to 280, max is 280 to 400. I'm picking first. I'm going with Jordan Addison over 41.5 receiving yards. You're welcome. I just think that he's enough of a burner that you could get that in one fell swoop, one shot over the top, and Addison hits. Luke Inman is next. I am going to give him his pick of TJ Hawkinson 40 plus at I have to do a dollar amount for mine, sorry. I'm going to go 200. Inman wants 200 on TJ Hawkinson, 40 plus yards. I'll check the odds on that, but next is Arif. Go ahead.
Okay, so you took my top one. I'm going to take my next one was what are those really seductive specials that like takes advantage of your own psychology? I'm going to fall prey to it. Justin Jefferson to record 25 plus receiving yards in each half at plus 110. What is the minimum medium bet?
Minimum medium
160.
Yeah, then that one.
Okay. Minimum medium bet. We got Braun with 2 picks.
I don't really feel good about anything in this game. Not that I feel like it's bad for the Vikings, but that I just feel no confidence at all in it, like any of my predictions. So I'm going to put a nice. I'm going to use one of my minimums here, and I'm going to put it on a Jaylen Warren touchdown plus 155. Mm-hmm. I guess that's fine odds for Jaylen Warren to get in the end zone, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, we need one more now on the cross.
Oh yeah, on the way back. Well, you all know what I'm doing. We're taking the money line. It is at wait, let me get it quick.
2.5.
That's the spread. The money line is at plus 124.
And
I will put a clean. I will put once again the maximum medium bet because I'm running out of max bets. I don't want to save them for more dramatic moments. So that's 279.99.
Narrative.
279.99 on the Steelers money line. And what'd you put on the Warren touchdown?
The full minimum.
Full
40.
minimum. So what was it?
159.99.
59.99.
No,
No,
the absolute
the
minimum,
actual
$40.
lowest
The
minimum.
most minimum you can be.
The lowest minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arif Hasan next.
I'm gonna go with. I had other ones, but then I saw this again. I'm just prey to clear cognitive tricks.
This is a vacation brain for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Jonnu Smith to catch pass on first drive plus 195.
That is fantastic.
The 160, right? The smallest medium. I don't like that you make
so
me
hitting.
keep using this language. Yeah. I'm gonna when it hits, I'm gonna get mad I didn't use one of my maxes.
It's probably bad that I feel this good about your bet for you.
Yeah, that's true. It's gonna be here's the problem. They're going to throw it backwards to him, and so then we're gonna have to. His depth of target is 0.8. Like this is a strong possibility.
Yeah, or he's gonna drop it.
Yeah, that's always on the table. What's Inman up to now? What we got?
Inman's going Vikings win by a margin of 1-13 at plus 125. $200.
That's all right. I like that one. That's
plus
good.
money.
Yeah.
Vikings to win by up to 13 points. That's pretty
Just
good.
going with the spread.
Yeah,
and you get plus money
takes
on
Vegas
it.
at their word. Right?
Yeah. I'm going to take Rodgers with more passing yards than Carson Wentz at plus 100. I just think there's a very good chance the Steelers can't run the ball and will be behind. That's my logic on it.
I see it. I just
That is an underdog, right? Because Carson Wentz's passing total is 210 and Rodgers is 202.
Yeah, because I was considering taking the over on Carson Wentz's passing total, despite
Jesus,
everything.
What happened to you?
Look. I
don't recognize you anymore.
The Vikings happened to me. That's always the answer. But I didn't take it. I let FanDuel, play their little same game parlay, little fairy dust. I'm in the land of the Fae, right? So I kind of let all of these interesting specials bedazzle me away from these Carson Wentz demons.
Arif, go have a Jameson followed by a Guinness, and be safe and enjoy Dublin. Have a great time.
I will not be safe. I will enjoy Dublin.
Beautiful. We will talk to you guys, I think, next Monday, probably out, Braun, on Sunday's squad show, but maybe we'll hear from you from the stadium if you can swing it. We'll break down the game Sunday about 11:30 a.m. Central after the Vikings and the Steelers in Dublin. Thanks for watching, listening, commenting, and subscribing. Talk to you next time.